Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on, tuning in, clicking on links or Googling. I don't know how the internet works. It's magic I don't understand, but we're glad you're here. So hit subscribe, and as the kids say, smash that little bell so that you can be notified over and over again when we have a new artist, author, filmmaker, musician, creative mind of any kind. Right now, we're hanging out. We got a really cool special guest today because we're hanging out with... we're going to call it an impersonator for charity. But man, Michael Spooner's here with us, and he's rocking Michael on Facebook and online. We're going to put all those links in there for you to find. But man, you do so much stuff for so many organizations that it's hard to classify you as one thing. Because you do your impersonation, and that's awesome.
Right.
But you also,
I look like Brett.
You've been a mover and a shaker, though, beyond that.
Yeah.
You get to talk to these guys. You know, you got to talk to Brett on several occasions.
Yes, I have.
Help out with different organizations.
Jack Russell.
So really, you have been doing things for charity, like your whole adult life.
Yes, I have. I've been doing kind of charity work all my life with my father.
Yeah.
Remembering Butch Pappy Spooner up in Pittsburgh. My dad passed away in December 21st, 2013. Anyway, so I always helped out anything. My dad's like, "Hey, Mikey, we got to go do this or that," and I'm like, "Dad, I gotta." You know, I said, "Can't you get one of my other brothers or sisters?" He's like, yeah. He said, "But you're like me, you're volunteer." So I'm like, all right. So I've always been doing that.
When you're kids,
and I love my family.
When you're when you're kids, mom and dad are kind of like. I remember my old Army days. You're voluntold.
Yes.
Yes. When you get older, you start to realize the value of that, though.
Yeah.
And you really do start to volunteer, and you really dove into this.
Yeah.
And I mean, you work full time, you do all that stuff, but when you're not working, you're out. You're doing the Bret Michaels impersonations.
If I try
to. You're going to concerts. You're meeting with these guys.
Yes.
You're getting autographed items to raise money. Now I know your dad really started this.
Yes, he did. My dad started all this stuff back in 1977.
1977.
It's called.
Yes, there was a
handicap
1977
school called McGuire Home School in New Brighton, Pennsylvania. Did I bring the right one?
We're going to try to get some art assets here from,
I think I brought
from Michael, and we're going to spin them up for you. But he's got
There's
all
an
kinds
envelope
of stuff
out there I left.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so we're going to, you know what? We're going to get that art from him. We're spinning it up so when you can see that. But your dad started this in 1977.
1977, yeah. It's called McGuire Home. Okay. He was a Christian biker.
Okay.
And he had all his money and food. He had all his money and food.
In the 70s, guys, now you guys on YouTube may not remember this, but us older guys, we know. Yeah. In the 70s, when people thought of motorcyclers and bikers,
my dad wanted to change it around.
They had an impression. It was left over from sort of the 60s movies. And in the early 70s, there was, in the United States, there was sort of a biker crime connection.
Yes.
But people thought every biker gang was some kind of crime gang. Yeah. And so your dad said about the business of changing that attitude and showing
Yes, he did. He did. He was down the wrong road at one time. And this is the story. This is actually the newspaper.
That's awesome.
About my dad. Like I said, he started McGuire Home, the charity for them in 1977 with a bunch of other bikers and that. And he was like, "Let's take this money up to McGuire Home." They're like, "Pat, we're bikers. They're not going to take our money." And he's like, "I'll tell you what, I'm ringing that doorbell until the nun comes down." And my dad was like that. And he finally did convince her and stuff like that. And says, "I'm going to give you this now, and I'm going to do a run every year for you." And he has. One year he didn't get to do it because the change of commands and that, so he didn't get to do it. Broke his heart and that. Which the last one that he was in, it was called the Legend Riders.
Okay.
And he was the legend, so he was the last rider. Let's just say that. Anyways,
awesome. That's awesome.
So he started that, and from the time he did it until the time he passed away, December 21st, he raised over $250,000 for him.
That's
one charity that he's helped out with.
Wow.
He's done so much. State of Pennsylvania gave him awards. Florida Today, I'm not Florida Today, sorry. Beaver County Times, and they did an article about him. Matter of fact, on December 27th of the day of his funeral, my nephew Jamie Mascow,
Okay.
I think I pronounced his last name, sorry Jamie, he rode his grandma in the ride of his funeral of 200 motorcycles. My dad was on a Harley Davidson with a hearse with a casket in the back. He rode his bike, my dad's bike, and Jamie did a great job. Everybody did a great job in the thing. So it was beautiful and sad to say that. So anyway, I'm the last motorcycle I'm riding with one of the women. She said, hey, Brett Michael, you're my, you know what. And so I had no problem with it. So, but it's on YouTube. If you look up
So
Remembering
how did
Butch
that,
Pappy Spooner the Right Way.
now your dad did a lot of this charity work and with biking and things like that.
Yeah.
And I know you and I talked off camera
Yeah.
back at IndyCon about, your dad
Right.
kind of looking at you, told you, find that thing you're passionate about and do that and give
Right.
back.
Right.
And you've been doing that for many
I
years
have.
now.
I have.
You chose you have a bit of a different path in that you kind of went to the rock and roll side of things. You did the
Yes.
Impersonator, and then you're meeting with all of these rock icons.
I try to. I mean, I
what-
pay for the meet and greets and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I know your dad inspired you to do the charity
Right.
work. So what was the rock and roll tie-in for you? What drew you to that?
Everybody said I looked like Bret Michaels. So I happened to, a friend of mine brought it to me at work, and he's like, hey, Mike, they're doing this event or rock show or whatever down in at the Wickham Park.
Okay. Yep.
So it was called 80s in the Park. So I called Richard
yes.
Henry up, and I said, hey, everybody says I look like Bret Michaels. I really don't see it, but let's go with it. And
Okay.
he's like, I said, I'd like to volunteer my time. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I said, he went back on my Facebook page, and he's like, yeah, we can't let you volunteer. And I said, oh, okay, I appreciate it. No, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
He's like, no, we have to pay you. You really do look like Bret Michaels.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that's how I started it. And so I called my dad up, and I said, hey, Dad, these people want me to play Bret Michaels. And he had an event for a police officer, or no, a military guy,
Okay.
that they were trying to build a home in Pittsburgh for him. And
Okay.
he wanted me to come up and help out with that. And it was the same time in August or September, I think it was, when that was going on. So anyway, so that was the last time I hung out with my dad, when I went up in August. Anyways, so he says, all right, boy, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you do this for money, you're doing it for yourself. But if you do it for love and you get love back, it's the most payment in the world you ever receive. And it's so true. So he said, do it for a charity. So I picked out a charity, and that's where my money went to.
And that just
And
started
just
it off.
took it off, yeah. And so
yeah. Now you've done so many events now, and
I
for
have.
so many charities.
Yes, I have. Do you remember Gage Robinson?
I do. Yes.
I helped out with his, with Charles and Lisa Knight.
Awesome.
Awesome people, Rockstar Entertainment. Love them to death. They're actually the ones that got me sing. So if you guys don't like my singing, blame them. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, so yeah,
Nobody
so
likes
I
my
helped out with
singing,
that.
so it's okay.
And then,
He's got to do better than me.
like I said, this is one of the things from Amazing Park. My friend Tony Gene Simmons, who played.
That's awesome.
He's Art
That
of
is
Gene.
fantastic.
He's a cool guy. He helped out a lot of charities with me. So the next year after my dad passed away, I did it for Team Nina. I don't know if you remember her. She needed a heart transplant.
Oh, wow.
So what I did is I gave my shirt away. I got all the rock stars to sign my shirt.
That's awesome.
And I met everybody, Jack Russell, great guy, Frankie Benelli, all them guys, and that. So, and I got artists to sign it, and then I presented everything. I just kept giving her stuff, and finally she got her heart, and she's doing pretty good.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
That is, it's so, we spend a lot of time here talking about artists and entertainers and the community that builds around them. But a lot of times we forget to mention how much the arts has been able to do for our communities in general.
Right.
And your performances and the connections you've made through those performances over
Oh,
the
yeah.
years, you've been able to do so much for the community. What's next for you, man? What do you?
I don't know. The only thing I did different than my father, and my family yells at me, is I gave my own personal money away. My dad volunteered his time. So I went and got my own guitar signed by Bret Michaels. He did two of them for me. My cowboy hats I had got signed. And The whole thing is all this stuff I have is material things. My father always said, you never worship material things, Mikey. And that's what everybody calls me, Mikey. That's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Going to be 54 years old, still get called Mikey. Anyways, so
It happens.
that's the real me, is Mikey. He says that all the stuff we have is material things. It can be placed with better or worse. It doesn't matter. You don't worship on it. What you worship is the living.
The connection between
Because
people.
when it's gone, it's gone. You can't replace that. So I had to learn that in a hard way. But anyways, because my mom passed away not even 3 years later. And my mom did a lot of charity work too, not as what my dad did. She volunteered her time at the Owls Club.
Okay.
And she made food. She worked her butt off doing all that stuff. And so my mom did it. And my stepmom, who's now my mom, you know, because she's the only one left, Susan Schultz. And she has to deal with all these crazy kids and the grandkids, because there's 7 kids out of my family. My mom
awesome.
had.
Yeah.
And then my sister, Lori, and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, so there's a lot of other kids and grandkids. So she has to be around. She's the only one left to deal with this. And so, yeah.
You know what? That spirit of community and giving, though, is very much alive and well.
Right.
And it is passed down from generation to generation, from your dad and your mom and the time
Right.
and energy they gave to all the effort that you've put in. What are you working on anything right now? Are there any organizations that you're working
actually,
with
I'm
trying
going
to promote?
I got to get my aunt home. It's my family reunion.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to take my Aunt Eleanor, Pecora, if she's up to it. You know what I mean? She's 90-something years old. She sings at Lou's Blues.
90-something years old, she sings at Lou's Blues.
On Wednesday nights, you got to come and see her sing.
We got to check that out.
Because she sings old Patsy Cline and stuff like that. And that was the first Bret Michael guitar that I got signed for Lou's Blues.
Okay.
In honoring my aunt. So, but I didn't get my dad or her name put on it. I talked to Mike, and we're going to do something about it with the new owner. Lou's an awesome guy.
What are we looking at here?
Okay, so you've seen that Kenny was at the thing for
Yes.
for his cookbook,
Yes.
which is I don't know where it's at, but here, this right here, the recipe for rock for autism. Kenny
Okay.
Wilkerson is a good friend of mine from Novarex. I met him at 80s in the Park.
Awesome.
And Kenny and his lead singer, Adrian, both have autistic kids, which is Asperger's.
Yes.
Which is a functional autistic kid. Anyways, from Chris from Re-Rock for Autism, I've been dealing with Chris for a couple of years now doing stuff. So I told him, I said, hey, Chris, give me a wristband and some shirts and that. And so he did. And, well, if you see, this is We Rock for Autism. Brett signed the shirt when Chris was there in Fort Myers.
Okay.
Okay, so that was one.
Nice.
The other one was when I seen Chris, seen Brett right after I did, gave him a whole bunch of stuff for Officer Valenze.
Yes.
That was shot in the head. We did a benefit in Sanford. My
Okay.
friend Tom Cook did a great job of, getting everybody to do it. We were on the Fox 35 News, and I donated the cowboy hat of Bret Michaels.
Awesome.
So anyway, so with honoring women behind badges,
Yes.
which is for Camp Amigos for the kids over in Burbank, the kids.
Fantastic, man.
So anyways, so I gave Brett, when I seen Brett over there, I took my own kid's guitar, Flying Z, and Brett signed it. This is Chris's, but he actually did. It says "Rock On, Bret Michaels."
Oh wow, that's awesome.
For We Rock for Autism,
That is awesome.
They auctioned that off on eBay, and all proceeds went to the charity.
Nice.
And then I just seen Brett again, and had him sign this guitar for open mics, discount music,
Fantastic.
which he has it, and there's a story behind it. I bought a replica Bret Michael guitar, and this is back in 2015. Little boy, my friend Linda and Dale Humphreys, I think it's their nephew. He was at the Ronald McDonald House in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I bought that guitar, and I wanted to ship it out there. they wanted $150 for what I paid for it. I'm like, that's a lot of money, and I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And like I said, I give my own money away, and that's what I've done. Anyway, so I called Discount Music at the time. Mike picked up the phone, and I said, hey, I want to ship this guitar out to this little boy in Phoenix, Arizona at the Ron McDonald house. He goes, Michael, I don't know what you do and that. He goes, we got a guitar, we'll give it to you. Guitar box. So I did, and I shipped it out with a bunch of other stuff in that, and he's doing good, by the way.
Awesome.
So when I seen Mike, open mics, when my friends were playing, I said, hey, I'm going to get you a guitar signed. He's like, yeah, whatever. So I did. I got it done.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
So that's that one.
Wow.
And I did it
man.
honoring my ex-wife's father and mom, who actually bought material at Discount Music. Don Colon and Kay. Well, Don played upright bass.
Oh, wow, look at
and
that.
he
That's awesome.
He played American Legion.
Okay.
With a girl named Sammy Angel.
Awesome.
And Don used to sing back when he was younger, and he played acoustic and harmonica and all that stuff, and like Brett does.
That's fantastic.
And so Don got hurt, and he lost his voice almost.
Wow.
So he only played upright bass anymore. So anyway, so since it was all connected to my family, because I love them to death, so I went and did that, and then, like I said, well, you see Brett's wearing the We Rock for Autism shirt.
That's awesome.
That
man.
I gave him
awesome.
also.
Guys, that card right there means that we have to be done. We have to wrap it up. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. As we do that, we're going to say thank you to our partners and friends over at Famous Faces and Funny, Space Coast Comics, Indie Originals Live online. Look for indieoriginals.org. J. Bauer Art, the Cogler Emporium, Embellish Effects, Foxwood Wine Company for having us in here today and letting us build our set and have a great time.
That's awesome.
And our great friends over at Hearts Helping Others of Central Florida. Thank you guys for supporting the show, for supporting all that we do. Thank you for sharing this video. We hope that all of you will share this video and share these stories all over the World Wide Web. We have been hanging out with Michael Spooner, known as Rockin' Michael. Check him out on all his Facebook and Twitter and all those great social media links.
Yeah, I got to get all that back up again.
We're all getting used to using all this social media stuff, so check him out online and see how you can help, see how you can be a part of these amazing, amazing charitable events and organizations. So, guys, stay tuned in and stay logged on and see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
really
appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. That is awesome.